Another day, another goof for Disney. That's right, because it appears that fan favorite character Winter Soldier may not appear in the fourth Captain America film.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.
Hi, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to my vidcast, Studio Jake, where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, head on over to my locals. The link is in the description. All right, so it appears that there's been another blunder with Captain America New World Order. Oh, excuse me, Captain America 4. Oh, excuse me, Captain America Serpent Society. Oh, excuse me, Captain America Brave New World. That's right. The movie, which is actually just a Falcon solo film, is going to be absent one of the most important characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that is Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, aka the White Wolf, portrayed by Sebastian Stan. So this is according to Pirates and Princesses. But now it seems that the upcoming fourth film, Captain America Brave New World, will be breaking this tradition as actor Sebastian Stan will apparently not be in the film. Actor Anthony Mackie, known for playing Sam Wilson, the Falcon, and now Captain America, stated in a recent interview that he missed Sebastian on set. He said, "The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I really enjoyed doing that show. I was actually excited to do a second season just so me and Sebastian get paid to hang out. Because it's like me, him, and Daniel Bruhl, who portrayed Zemo, it's kind of like the perfect storm of happiness. When they decided to go back to the movies, it is what it is, but I don't have my friend anymore, so it kind of dampens it a little bit. Anything I can do to hang out with Daniel, a dancing Daniel Bruhl, makes me very happy." Sebastian Stan will appear as the Winter Soldier at least one more time in the upcoming Thunderbolts film. Still, if Captain America Brave New World ends up having to do more reshoots after the rumored test screening reception, they could always squeeze him back in somewhere. All right, and I want you to go and read the full article on piratesandprincesses.net. So, what does this mean? Well, the fourth Captain America movie, which should have just been a Falcon movie, has been under so much turbulence. Apparently, there have been constant rewrites. Supposedly, they went back to an earlier script for Captain America 3, which is the Serpent Society would be the main villains. But now, apparently, they have totally been cut from the movie, just totally slashed out. They are gone. And according to rumors, now again, this is rumor. I'm not stating this as fact. I'm just reporting on this rumor that Anthony Mackie has threatened to walk because they have done so many reshoots. The script is just in shambles. Now, Kevin Feige kind of started this trend. Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel Studios. Basically, what happened with the show Miss Marvel was they originally intended it to be sort of like a dark, sort of film, or excuse me, TV show, but then it tested poorly with test audiences, and so they came in and they recut it as a more like a teen comedy. And from my understanding is that actually worked for the show. I have not watched it myself. I'm not a big Kamala Khan fan. I'm a fan of Carol Danvers being Miss Marvel, but that's just my own opinion. Feel free to flame me in the comments. I don't give a crap. But anyway, and apparently that worked for the show. A lot of people who watched it said it wasn't bad in any stretch of the means. It just was a teen show. It was not, it was obviously redone in a way where it presented itself. Well, that kind of worked for Miss Marvel. So what Kevin Feige started to do going forward, and apparently this happened with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It happened with the Eternals in a more scaled back sort of way, but where he was going in and if test audiences reacted poorly to a certain thing, he would just patch it up with a different scene. And supposedly Kathleen Kennedy did this with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. They filmed multiple endings, multiple scenes. Originally, James Mangold was denying that this happened, but then Overlord DVD reported on it, and he again just tripled down and said it didn't happen, despite sayings from the composer of the film score, John Williams. He said that there have been reshoots, and then later on the DVD commentary, Mangold admitted that there were reshoots. So, what can you do? I personally think that that's what's happening with this movie. Kevin Feige's formula of trying to patch together something from a bunch of different shoots, that gets expensive over time. I was reading somewhere that Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Quantumania, another film that this allegedly happened with, that it was so bad that the CGI team, the special effects team, ran out of money. And I have a feeling that's what's going to happen with Captain America: Brave New World. Here's what I think Marvel should have done. Falcon and Winter Soldier have both posed as Captain America, and I'm okay with a character passing down their mantle, so to speak, their legacy on to a sidekick or a child. I don't have a problem with that. It's when some rando takes over that no one cares about, that's when I have an issue. I would have been fine with Falcon portraying Captain America on the films because it's not like the comics where they have floating sort of timelines and whatnot. You would need to pass it on. The problem is in the comics, when Falcon became Captain America, they had terrible writers who had no idea what they were doing, and they ruined it for me. And we have the same issue happening in the MCU. They hire all these young trendy writers whose biggest experience is writing music videos and commercials, and they don't know what they're doing. They're not ready for a project. They're not up on the lore of the Marvel comics. So Marvel really just needs to bring back these old characters. Try to I don't think they'll ever get Robert Downey Jr. back, except maybe in a cameo role, or if the rumors are true about Avengers Secret War, maybe in a that sort of capacity. But I don't think they'll ever get him back unless they shell out a lot of money. But neither here nor there. I think with this is they just need to nail down a script. They need to hire a competent director. It doesn't have to be anyone big. It doesn't have to be someone huge, but they need to hire someone who can run, and they just need to let them run it. And they need to have someone on set who's make sure it aligns correctly with the MCU continuity, which I have a feeling with whatever is going to replace King Dynasty and then Secret War, I think that's going to sort of erase that, and we're going to have kind of a reboot from then on, and some actors will stay, some will be recast. But even if they did recast the big three, right? So Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man, they are the flagship characters of the MCU. Black Widow, Hawkeye. If they were, they instead of trying to replace them with new characters just with their IDs, and instead just bring in new actors to portray them, they have to get rid of those bad writers, those bad directors, those bad DEI woke detectors who are always on the verge of collapsing like a special snowflake. They need to hire people who are competent and can bring some relevancy back to the MCU, because personally, I know this is kind of an aside, but I don't believe that there is superhero fatigue. I don't believe there was Western fatigue. I don't believe that there was musical fatigue when all those trends were going on. I just think what was happening was people were getting tired because they started to get repetitive. John Wayne actually made the same movie three times. And look up El Dorado because that movie was a remake of a movie, and then later he remade it again, just under a different title. And so those things started to get repetitive. Same with the musical numbers. Is the guys who they were hiring to do the music, they were kind of wanting to move on to other projects. They didn't want to really write music for the movies anymore, and so they were bringing in newer writers who didn't actually know how to compose good music. And I think that is what is happening with MCU. People have bad movie fatigue, not superhero fatigue. And that's, like I said, that's an aside. Going back to Captain America: Brave New World, I have a feeling that this is going to be a massive bomb. I'm not going to say for certain. I'm not making like this big prediction. I'm not doing that. But I just think the way that Marvel has been handling this whole thing has been ridiculous. It's been really mismanaged. I think it's time for Kevin Feige to go. He's just been there too long, and he wasn't really the architect of the MCU. He kind of took it over while it was still good. Remember, Kevin Feige is a Disney employee. When he sort of stepped in to kind of help shape everything, Marvel was still technically with Paramount. But then when Disney bought everything, and moved it all over to them, that's when he sort of took over. So he wasn't really the architect. He was just sort of riding on the success of the people who had went before him. Now, how can he fix this? Well, so far I've heard Eternals 2 is canceled. That's a step in the right direction. They really just need to cancel Agatha. It was Agatha all along, whatever. That's another one that's gone through 4 different titles, I think, maybe 3, but ridiculous amount. They need to just, or they just need to stealth upload it to Disney Plus, see the reaction to it. And they need to bring in some fresh blood who's actually sharp, know what they're doing, and love these characters, or at least have a familiarity with them. Someone who grew up in the 90s and watched Spider-Man, the animated series, and X-Men, and Iron Man, and Fantastic Four, the Credible Hulk, and She-Hulk. Move into that sort of space, and I think it can work for them. But it seems that they're stubborn. They're doubling, tripling down, quadrupling down in some cases. So I just don't trust that they're going to get it back on track. And I think it's going to hurt Captain America, Brave New World, especially with the absence of the Winter Soldier.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die